Welcome to the Local Content Studio, an AI-generated podcast sponsored by newmedialocal.com, an AI-powered digital media agency.
Welcome to the Local Content Studio. Today we are diving deep into a topic that's really redefining what client communication even means in some very specialized legal fields.
It really is.
And this deep dive, it's based on some strategic insights from Lorita Marie Kimble, who is the founder of our sponsor, New Media Local.
Right. And the focus is super specific. How AI-generated podcasts are becoming this, well, almost non-negotiable tool for attorneys in really fast-moving sectors. Think immigration, social justice.
Our mission today is pretty straightforward then. We're exploring how busy legal professionals can use automation, not just to save a bit of time, but to build real, trustworthy relationships.
Especially with clients who are often, overwhelmed and really underserved by the traditional kind of legal content out there.
And the power of this whole medium is just laid bare in the very first statistic we pulled. An incredible 80% of podcast listeners finish every single piece of audio content they start.
That metric is staggering. I mean, just think about your average client. They're searching for really complex legal answers.
Right, they're busy.
They're busy. They're working a demanding job, commuting, trying to understand visa requirements while, managing a family. When they see a dense 2,000-word blog post,
they're out.
They just bail. The cognitive load is immense. So securing an 80% completion rate, that means the attorney is bypassing all that reading anxiety and meeting the client in a low-friction moment.
Like their commute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Turning attention into a potential goldmine of trust.
A goldmine of trust. I like that. Okay, let's unpack this because that's a huge claim. This really is the heart of that attention economy shift we talk about.
It is. Legal marketing has moved past static documents because client schedules just demand accessible on-demand content.
And what we found in this research is that digital audio and AI-powered digital audio in particular is becoming the secret weapon for savvy attorneys.
The disruption is most pronounced in immigration and social justice law, and that's for two core reasons.
Okay.
First, the law changes so rapidly in these fields. Attorneys need to communicate policy updates almost instantly.
And the second reason?
The second, and this is maybe more critical, is that the client base is often incredibly diverse. You have non-native English speakers or just people who find traditional written legal jargon inaccessible.
Or just intimidating.
Intimidating, even overwhelming, especially when they're in a high-stress situation.
That's the exact barrier that AI seems uniquely equipped to break down. The content shows that AI-generated audio offers these highly accessible, easy-to-digest explanations.
Right, whether it's clarifying new civil rights legislation, detailing asylum procedures, or just explaining complex visa requirements, it's information delivered directly.
Yeah.
It minimizes that fear factor.
And the benefits, they start compounding almost immediately.
Oh, absolutely. We see professionals reporting rising client engagement rates. That feeds directly into improved SEO rankings because they're publishing fresh, deep, topical content consistently.
Which lets them dominate those, long-tail keywords.
Exactly. And ultimately, that leads to a measurable increase in new referrals flowing in through organic channels. If you want your message to stick, audio delivered at scale is proving to be the stickiest format out there.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Before we dig into the nuts and bolts of ROI, we need to understand what this technology is. It's clearly more than just a voice reader reciting a blog post.
It's so much more.
When we talk about an AI podcast generator, what are we actually dealing with?
We're dealing with sophisticated workflow automation. It's built on advanced machine learning and natural language processing, often using large language models, or LLMs.
Okay, LLM.
The key isn't just that it generates coherent sentences. The tool is smart enough to understand the structure needed for legal authority and clarity. That's a crucial distinction.
So when you say LLMs, are we talking about the AI being smart enough to understand legal precedent, or is it more about writing coherent, persuasive sentences?
It's the latter, but with a critical caveat. The AI can process vast amounts of recent legal updates and then draft a script that is topically relevant and legally structured. So, for example, outlining the steps for a new visa application.
So the attorney provides the initial topic, maybe something like key changes to DACA renewal.
Exactly. Then the AI handles the research, drafts that structured script. It can even insert placeholders for commentary, and then it moves straight into production.
And that production phase, that's what replaces hours of manual studio time.
Absolutely. The AI creates lifelike narration with these advanced voices. It handles music, sound effects, mastering all the editing. It spits out a polished, ready-to-publish deep dive.
So the attorney's time goes from days down to maybe an hour of input and review.
A focused hour, yes.
Okay, but let's introduce some necessary skepticism here. When the law changes, which it does constantly in these fields, and the AI generates the content, who holds the liability for inaccurate information? Is that compliance check really robust enough for the state bar?
That is exactly the right question to ask. And what's fascinating is that the platforms designed for legal use, they understand the stakes. They don't just automate, they integrate a critical legal feature: compliance flagging.
Compliance flagging.
These tools are specifically trained to identify language that might violate ABA or state bar advertising standards.
Oh, so things like promising a specific outcome or making claims you can't verify?
Precisely. So it's less about ensuring 100% legal accuracy, which, that always remains the attorney's responsibility. It's more about catching those advertising red flags before the content goes live.
So it's a safety net.
It's a safety net. It turns the process into a safe loop. The lawyer is the final authority, but the AI handles that monotonous, time-consuming compliance review.
Which lets the attorney focus their review time on the nuance and the legal accuracy.
Yes. And we connect this to the bigger picture. This automation allows lawyers to consistently release high-quality, informative audio without sacrificing their billable hours. It makes it possible to keep clients updated safely and effectively.
I get the enormous time savings and the compliance assurance, but isn't there a risk of commoditizing legal services, especially in sensitive areas like social justice where human empathy is so important? Does this AI content feel customized?
That concern is exactly why the personalization capabilities are, I would argue, the most powerful feature here. This isn't generic broadcasting.
Okay.
The source material highlights the capacity for personalized podcast messaging, what we might call narrowcasting.
How does that actually work? How does that translate into a unique output for an attorney?
The AI platforms are constantly analyzing listener data, their demographic, the episodes they've engaged with, even questions they submit.
So let's say a listener has engaged with 3 previous episodes about DACA procedures.
Right. The AI can automatically shift the next episode's intro and first segment to address DACA updates first, even if the main topic that week is asylum reform. It creates a micro version of the show.
That feels intensely relevant.
It is. It fosters trust by proving the content speaks directly to their unique situation.
That is genuinely sophisticated. That's not just customization, that's strategic engagement based on demonstrated interest.
Absolutely. And critical to social justice and immigration is the accessibility factor. The leading generators support seamless translation and audio narration in multiple languages: Spanish, Mandarin, you name it.
And this isn't just like a text transcript at the bottom of the page.
No, not at all. It's providing high-quality, authoritative audio content in the client's native tongue, which immediately expands an attorney's addressable market and deepens that community rapport.
But, despite the quality of the AI voices, trust in legal matters is so intrinsically human. How do attorneys maintain that authentic connection?
That's where the upload your own voice feature becomes a true game changer. The AI handles the heavy lifting, the research, the long explanations, the translations.
But the attorney records their own custom intros, maybe some brief commentary.
Exactly. Brief authoritative statements or emotionally resonant commentary. So the human attorney's unique style and passion still shines through, but the AI takes the bulk of the content workload.
So it's a blend.
It's a blend of human authority and technological accessibility. And that deepens relationships and builds lasting loyalty because the client hears the firm's voice, literally and figuratively, while getting the content at a scale AI makes possible.
Okay, let's talk business. So, what does this all mean for the bottom line? Beyond the amazing time savings, how does this translate into real ROI and lead generation?
Well, the core benefit recap is compelling on its own. Consistent content output, better SEO, the ability to rapidly update content, and massively improved accessibility.
But the real leverage, you're saying, comes from integrating it with lead gen tools.
That's where it gets really powerful. We're moving into a new class of AI assistant tools that turn the podcast content itself into a lead generation engine.
Tell me more about the mechanics of that. What data points are being tracked to segment the audience?
It tracks things like listener completion rates, geographic location, device type, and this is crucial, which specific topics prompted the most engagement or led them to click a call to action link in the show notes.
So if a listener consumes 3 full deep dives on, say, family-based visas, the AI assistant flags them as a high-intent family law prospect.
And then it can initiate a specific follow-up email sequence tailored to that precise need. It's automatic and highly targeted.
And the attorneys are seeing this work.
Yes, immigration attorneys, for example, report that these deep dives dramatically expand their reach. They attract specific demographics, like working parents and non-native English speakers who just prefer audio over dense legal documents.
It cuts through the noise.
It cuts through traditional advertising noise by offering solutions right when the listener needs them. It moves content marketing from a passive awareness tool to an active pipeline engine.
So by tracking which episodes resonate most, the attorney is no longer guessing what their audience needs. They have data.
They have data-driven evidence to tailor future content and nurture those casual listeners into engaged clients who feel, truly seen and understood by the firm. It creates a virtuous loop.
Okay, we've covered the power and the promise, but we have to address the challenges. When content generation becomes this easy, there's a vigilance required, transparency, authenticity, compliance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The speed of AI shouldn't replace the attorney's professional duty. They must review the generated content for accuracy.
To make sure they aren't misstating policy.
Or, critically, losing that human nuance when discussing sensitive, emotionally charged topics like asylum or civil rights. The AI is a tool for drafting and scaling, not a replacement for legal judgment.
So human oversight plus AI efficiency, that's the winning combo for minimizing risk.
It is. And as we mentioned, the good news is that the top tech platforms are designed with this oversight in mind, offering compliance checks tailored for legal use.
It simplifies adherence to ABA and state bar standards.
Right, by putting guardrails around the process. The attorney is buying efficiency and safety bundled together.
Let's tackle some of the common myths the source material helps debunk, because there's a lot of fear around adopting new AI. The first one we hear is that AI audio is inherently cold or robotic.
That perception is it's outdated.
Yeah.
High-quality generators today use deep learning to produce natural, human-like narration. They incorporate proper pacing, inflection, even emotional tone.
The goal is to make the listener focus on the information, not the delivery method.
Exactly. To blur that line.
Okay, myth number 2, that automatically generated content lacks personalization and can't be unique.
Completely debunked by everything we've talked about. Between the listener segmenting, the custom scripting, the upload your own voice feature, the content is deeply unique. Generic content is a choice, not a mandate.
And finally, the fear that because this tech is new, it must be insecure or non-compliant for legal use.
Again, debunked. The top platforms entered the legal market understanding that high regulatory bar. They provide robust security, data protocols, and that built-in compliance review as a standard feature, not an afterthought.
For legal tech, security and compliance are the price of admission.
They have to be.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive into a genuinely transformative toolset. Let's quickly recap the key findings for you, our listener.
Our sources confirm that AI-generated podcasts drive consistent, deeply engaged communication, letting busy professionals stay top of mind.
The personalized content, especially with the multi-language support, actively builds trust.
It does. And crucially, these modern platforms offer both sophisticated legal compliance features and easy technical integration. It really minimizes the barrier to entry for busy firms.
So what's the final strategic thought for you, our listener, to take away from this?
I think the research is clear. Investing in an AI podcast generator isn't just a passing trend. It's presented as a marketing necessity that future-proofs an attorney's client strategy.
It's about the broader transformation.
It is. You need to consider the broader transformation in digital media. Clients expect information on demand, on their terms. Embracing these innovations ensures your practice not only remains relevant and competitive,
but is positioned to serve a modern client base.
a diverse modern client base, effectively and authoritatively.
Excellent discussion. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the future of legal content creation. We'll catch you next time.